In the far future, Earth has flourished in ways no one could have predicted. It's not a planet of warriors, hardened soldiers, or powerful militaries. Instead, Earth has embraced creativity, entertainment, and the arts, leaving war and violence as distant memories. Centuries of peace have led to the disbanding of most military structures, and humanity now focuses on joy, laughter, and self-expression. The people of Earth believe they've reached a golden age of harmony, blissfully unaware of the looming danger that approaches. From the stars, a powerful alien empire watches, its hunger for conquest insatiable. The Coraxians, highly advanced telepathic beings with minds so sharp they've enslaved entire worlds without firing a single shot, have set their sights on Earth. In their eyes, humanity is weak, soft, and undisciplined, a planet ripe for the taking. Their commanders, skilled psionic warriors, are sent to break Earth's will with a single mental assault. They've done it before, many times, and to them, Earth is no different. They expect to subjugate humanity as effortlessly as they've conquered countless other worlds. Earth's leaders are quickly made aware of the impending invasion, and they panic. They know they have no army, no advanced weapons, and no strategic defense systems capable of stopping an invasion. Centuries of peace have made them unprepared for such a catastrophe. Desperate, they scramble to find a solution, to buy time, to figure out how to respond. But in the rush, a mistake is made. Or perhaps it wasn't a mistake. Perhaps it was a desperate joke taken too far. A message is sent to the invaders, declaring that Earth is ready to meet their challenge. The chosen defender? A man known only as Clown. He is no soldier, no strategist, and certainly no warrior. He's an entertainer, a performer, someone who spent his days making people laugh. With his painted face, colorful clothes, and bag of tricks, Clown steps forward as Earth's unlikely champion. He has no idea what he's in for, and the world watches in horror, fully expecting their doom. Clown, for his part, believes this is all some sort of elaborate gag. Surely, someone's playing a trick on him. After all, who in their right mind would send a clown to stop an alien invasion? He doesn't understand the gravity of the situation, and maybe that's what makes him so dangerous. Armed with nothing more than his props and a natural sense of chaos, he steps into the role as though it's just another performance. As the Coraxian ships land and their psionic commanders step out, they expect resistance, they expect fear. What they find instead is something they've never encountered before: confusion. Clown stands before them, honking his horn, spinning plates, and performing exaggerated pratfalls. The Coraxians, highly intelligent beings, cannot comprehend what they are seeing. To them, warfare is calculated, methodical. There's no room for randomness, no space for absurdity. Clown, with his painted smile and unpredictable antics, is a living embodiment of chaos. The psionic commanders, confident in their abilities, attempt to subdue him mentally, using their vast telepathic powers to break his will. But there's a problem. Clown's mind is not like that of any human they've encountered before. His thoughts are scattered, erratic, filled with the nonsensical. He's not afraid because he doesn't fully grasp what's happening. He believes it's all part of the show. His mind is a maze of jokes, gags, and slapstick routines, and no matter how hard the Coraxians try, they can't break through his defenses. Every attempt to control his thoughts is met with a flood of absurd images: balloons, pies, oversized shoes. The more they try to outthink him, the more disoriented they become. Their telepathic powers, which have conquered entire planets, are rendered useless against a man who doesn't take anything seriously. Clown, oblivious to the danger, continues his act, pulling flowers from his sleeve, offering them to the stunned aliens. He rides a unicycle in circles around them, dodging their energy blasts with a mixture of luck and timing, as if it's all part of an elaborate routine. The Coraxians are bewildered. Their minds, accustomed to structured warfare, start to crumble under the weight of Clown's unpredictability. One of the commanders, growing desperate, tries to telepathically force Clown to his knees, attempting to crush his will. But Clown, not understanding what's happening, responds by blowing a raspberry and spraying the commander with a jet of water from his fake flower. The crowd of humans watching from the safety of their screens gasps, expecting retaliation, but instead, the alien commander staggers backward, his concentration shattered. He has never encountered such resistance, and certainly not from something so absurd. Clown continues his antics, each move more ridiculous than the last. He juggles flaming torches while balancing on a tightrope. He pulls endless handkerchiefs from his pocket and tosses them into the air. And with each act, the Coraxians grow more and more unnerved. Their confidence starts to waver as they realize they are losing control. They were prepared for anything, except this. The Earth watches in awe and confusion. At first, people are horrified, certain that they're witnessing their doom. But as the minutes pass and Clown continues to stand unharmed, a new feeling begins to spread: hope. Could it be that their greatest defense is not weapons or strength, but humor? The absurdity of the situation begins to sink in. Maybe, just maybe, Earth's unpredictability is its greatest strength after all. As the Coraxians retreat, trying to regroup and make sense of the chaos they've encountered, Clown strikes a pose, completely oblivious to the fact that he's just defied the greatest telepathic force in the galaxy. The people of Earth are left speechless, their fate now seemingly in the hands of a man who doesn't understand the concept of defeat. The Coraxians, renowned for their unmatched psionic abilities, find themselves increasingly frustrated. Their entire strategy revolves around overpowering the minds of their enemies. But Clown's mind is an impenetrable fortress of absurdity. What should have been a swift mental assault has turned into a baffling confrontation. The commanders can't comprehend how someone so seemingly incompetent could resist their power so effortlessly. Every time they reach into Clown's thoughts, they are met with disjointed images: rubber chickens, honking horns, and squirting flowers. It's not just confusing, it's maddening. One commander attempts a direct mental attack, trying to break Clown by force. But all he gets in return is a nonsensical stream of thoughts, as if he's plunged into a surreal dream world where nothing makes sense. It's like trying to navigate a maze where the walls shift constantly, and no path leads to clarity. Clown's thoughts are so scattered and random that they can't find a foothold. Worse, they realize that their psionic attacks are being deflected without Clown even realizing it. His lack of focus and his chaotic mind make him completely immune to their most powerful weapon. Clown, of course, has no idea any of this is happening. To him, this is just another performance, albeit one of the strangest he's ever been a part of. He's having fun, pulling out his bag of tricks and entertaining what he believes to be an audience. Every time the aliens try to corner him, he responds with some offbeat joke or physical gag. He slips on a banana peel, sending one commander tumbling to the ground in the process. He pulls out a squirting flower, dousing another in water, completely oblivious to the aliens' growing frustration. The Coraxians, who pride themselves on their superior intellect and discipline, begin to lose their composure. They're used to enemies falling before them, not mocking them with childish antics. One by one, their concentration wavers. The more they try to outthink Clown, the more they realize that their own minds are being stretched to the limit. They've never encountered anything like this, a mind so erratic and unpredictable that it defies all logic. And that's when the fear begins to set in. For the first time in their long history of conquest, the Coraxians experience doubt. Their minds, trained for precision and control, are unraveling in the face of Clown's nonsense. One commander, frustrated beyond belief, tries to predict Clown's next move, reaching deep into his thoughts to anticipate his actions. But all he finds is chaos, images of pies, balloons, and slapstick routines. Nothing makes sense. The harder the commander tries, the more disoriented he becomes, his psionic power backfiring as he's drawn deeper into Clown's world of absurdity. Meanwhile, Clown continues to perform, unaware of the chaos he's causing. He juggles flaming batons while balancing on a ball, completely carefree. To him, it's all part of the act. He plays to the invisible crowd, offering exaggerated bows and pulling rabbits out of his hat. Every time the Coraxians attempt to regain control, they're met with another gag, another unexpected twist. They try to counter his moves, but there's no strategy that works against randomness. Clown's unpredictability is his greatest weapon, and the Coraxians are helpless against it. The alien commanders start to question everything. They've always believed that superior intellect and mental discipline were the keys to victory. But here, on this strange planet called Earth, they're being defeated by a clown. How can this be happening? How can a species that embraces such chaos possibly pose a threat to their empire? They start to doubt not just their strategy, but their very understanding of the universe. If something as absurd as Clown can defy them, what else might they have underestimated? As Clown continues his routine, the Coraxians' mental fortitude crumbles. Their telepathic powers weaken, their concentration shattered by the sheer force of Clown's absurdity. What began as a confident invasion has turned into a nightmare of confusion and frustration. The commanders, once so sure of their superiority, now find themselves questioning their own abilities. They can't outthink him. They can't control him. And worst of all, they can't understand him. Clown, blissfully unaware of the existential crisis he's causing, continues to push the boundaries of absurdity. He pulls out a unicycle and begins riding circles around the alien commanders, dodging their attempts to corner him with an ease that can only be described as ridiculous. He tosses confetti in the air, laughs maniacally, and honks his horn, all while the Coraxians struggle to regain their composure. Every move he makes is a new distraction, a new challenge for their already overtaxed minds. And then, in a moment of pure slapstick, Clown pulls out a pie and smashes it into the face of the lead commander. The audience watching on Earth gasps, certain that this will be the end. But instead of retaliation, the alien commander stands frozen, completely stunned. His mind, already teetering on the edge of collapse, finally breaks. The pie was the last straw. The Coraxians, for all their mental prowess, simply cannot handle the madness that is Clown. The commanders, now mentally exhausted and on the brink of defeat, begin to retreat. They can't handle the unpredictability any longer. Clown's mind is too chaotic, too nonsensical for their psionic powers to control. They flee, not because they are physically outmatched, but because they've been mentally overwhelmed by a force they never anticipated, absurdity. As they retreat, Clown waves goodbye, still under the impression that this was all part of the show. He bows to the non-existent crowd, a grin plastered on his face. To him, it's all just another performance. But to the Coraxians, it's the most humiliating defeat they've ever faced. They came to Earth expecting an easy victory, only to be bested by a man who doesn't even realize he's in a war. Back on Earth, the confusion quickly turns to astonishment. At first, everyone watches in horror, certain that Clown's antics are making things worse. But as the minutes tick by and the alien commanders continue to falter, something becomes clear: Clown's bizarre approach is somehow working. He's not just holding his own, he's driving the invaders back, bit by bit, without even realizing it. Slowly, the mood shifts from dread to hesitant hope. The realization dawns that maybe, just maybe, Clown is exactly what Earth needs right now. Earth's citizens, glued to their screens, begin to see the possibilities. Could laughter and absurdity really be the key to defeating these invaders? Clown's unorthodox methods have broken the Coraxians' mental hold, and now humanity starts to believe that the very things they've been cultivating for centuries, creativity, unpredictability, humor, might actually be their greatest weapons. It starts with a few brave souls. Inspired by Clown's unexpected success, a handful of street performers take to the streets, joining the fray in their own peculiar ways. A mime, usually seen entertaining tourists in the city square, steps forward, silently mimicking the Coraxians' every move. His exaggerated motions cause more confusion than any weapon could. A juggler begins tossing flaming torches into the air, and an acrobat flips through the crowd, dodging energy blasts with ease. They're not fighters, but that's exactly the point. Their unpredictability, their creativity, becomes Earth's new form of resistance. The Coraxians, already disoriented by Clown, are now faced with an entire population that seems to defy logic. Their usual methods of telepathic control and mental domination are useless in the face of such widespread absurdity. The more they try to impose order, the more chaos they encounter. Every attempt to subdue Earth's citizens is met with confusion, laughter, and unpredictability. The invaders, so used to calculated warfare, are completely unprepared for this kind of battle. As more entertainers join in, the movement grows. What started with a few performers quickly becomes a global phenomenon. From all corners of the planet, jugglers, mimes, musicians, and comedians take to the streets, turning Earth's cities into a carnival of chaos. There are no weapons, no soldiers, just an overwhelming wave of creativity and joy. The invaders try to respond, but their psionic powers are no match for the sheer unpredictability of human expression. Even those who aren't performers get involved. A baker starts tossing pies into the crowd, hitting Coraxians squarely in the face. A florist creates intricate balloon animals, handing them out to the invaders, who stare in bewilderment, unsure of how to react. A barber sets up a chair in the middle of the street, offering free haircuts to anyone who passes by, including the confused alien commanders. The lines between resistance and celebration blur, and the Coraxians, for all their superior intellect, simply can't keep up. The Coraxians' greatest strength, their ability to control minds, has been completely neutralized. They can't get a foothold in the human psyche because there's nothing to control. Earth's citizens, following Clown's lead, have embraced chaos, and in doing so, have become immune to the Coraxians' psionic influence. The invaders are used to fear, anger, and submission. But laughter? Joy. This is beyond anything they've encountered before. As the movement spreads, it becomes clear that humanity is rallying around something far more powerful than any weapon: their shared ability to find humor in the darkest of moments. What started as a desperate, last-ditch effort has turned into a full-scale resistance, and the Coraxians are on the back foot. They may have superior technology and telepathic abilities, but none of that matters when they're faced with a species that refuses to play by the rules. The invaders begin to retreat, their mental powers stretched to the breaking point. They can't control what they can't understand, and humanity, with its endless creativity and absurdity, is impossible to pin down. What the Coraxians thought would be an easy conquest has become their worst nightmare, an enemy that doesn't fight back in any conventional way, an enemy that laughs in the face of danger, and an enemy that finds strength in chaos. Clown, still completely unaware of the chaos he's unleashed, continues his performance, now joined by a growing crowd of entertainers. Together they lead the charge, not with weapons or violence, but with laughter, jokes, and pure absurdity. The Coraxians, once confident and composed, are now flustered and retreating, their minds unable to handle the overload of unpredictability. The alien commanders, their psionic powers flickering and fading, try one last time to regain control. They attempt a coordinated mental assault, focusing all their energy on breaking Clown's mind once and for all. But by this point, it's too late. The tide has turned. Clown's unpredictability has spread to the entire planet, and the Coraxians are fighting not just one mind, but billions, all united in their defiance of order. In the final moments of the battle, Clown, ever the showman, pulls off one last, ridiculous stunt. He rides a giant balloon animal through the streets, honking his horn and throwing confetti into the air. The Coraxians, completely demoralized and mentally exhausted, have no choice but to retreat. They've been beaten, not by force, but by the very thing they couldn't control: humanity's refusal to take anything seriously. As the Coraxians flee, Earth erupts in celebration. The people, having seen the power of creativity and absurdity in action, cheer not just for their victory, but for what they've learned about themselves. They've discovered that their greatest strength isn't in military might or strategic thinking, but in their ability to embrace chaos, to find joy in the face of danger, and to use their creativity as a weapon. The Coraxians, now pushed to their limits, prepare for a final assault. Their commanders regroup, desperate to reclaim control. They can't fathom how their intricate psionic abilities have been thwarted by Earth's chaotic approach. They gather all their remaining forces, ready to unleash a final mental attack that they hope will break humanity once and for all. But even as they prepare, there's a sense of defeat lingering among them. They know that they've already lost in a way they've never experienced before. On Earth, the mood has shifted entirely. What started as fear and disbelief has turned into a celebration of human resilience. Clown, at the center of it all, remains oblivious to the true gravity of the situation. He leads the charge with a mixture of confidence and playful absurdity, unaware that he's become the figurehead of Earth's defense. To him, it's all still a part of the performance, and in his mind, the show must go on. The entertainers that have rallied around him follow his lead, each contributing to the spectacle in their own unique way. As the Coraxians launch their final assault, they are met with something they never could have anticipated: joy. Earth's defenders, armed only with their creativity and humor, push back not with weapons, but with laughter, music, and celebration. The streets become a festival of defiance, with every joke, every slapstick gag, and every absurd stunt acting as a shield against the Coraxians' mental onslaught. The alien commanders, fully focused on breaking the minds of Earth's people, find themselves overwhelmed by the sheer volume of unpredictable thoughts. Their psionic powers, so effective on other worlds, are useless here. Every time they attempt to dominate a human mind, they are met with an explosion of nonsensical images, chaotic thoughts, and uncontainable laughter. Their mental fortitude is failing, and they know it. Clown, in his own world, pulls out all the stops. He moves through the streets with a manic energy, performing tricks, honking horns, and throwing pies with a precision that seems accidental yet perfectly timed. Each time a Coraxian commander tries to focus on him, they are hit with another wave of confusion. The randomness of his actions is a perfect counter to their need for order and control. Clown's mind is a fortress they cannot breach, and now, it's spreading to everyone around him. The final battle becomes a spectacle unlike any other. The Coraxians, unable to cope with the sheer volume of chaos, begin to falter. Their forces are spread thin, and their psionic commanders are mentally exhausted, drained from trying to maintain control over a species that refuses to conform. They've never experienced anything like this before, a planet united not by fear or strategy, but by a collective embrace of absurdity. They've always believed that strength comes from control, but here on Earth, they are learning a new lesson, that sometimes, the greatest strength lies in letting go of control entirely. As the Coraxians' assault reaches its peak, something remarkable happens. Earth's people, following Clown's lead, begin to push back in unison. It's not a coordinated military effort, it's a shared moment of creativity and joy. Performers juggle flaming torches while children laugh and dance in the streets. Musicians play upbeat tunes, filling the air with sound that drowns out the fear. The Coraxians, once so confident in their superiority, are now the ones retreating, unable to handle the unpredictability of the human spirit. Clown, still blissfully unaware of the true extent of his influence, performs his grand finale. With a flourish, he pulls out an oversized seltzer bottle and sprays it into the air, soaking the remaining Coraxian commanders in a final act of ridiculousness. The audience, both human and alien, is stunned. For the Coraxians, this is the ultimate humiliation. They came to conquer, but instead, they've been reduced to participants in a surreal comedy. They've lost control of the situation entirely, and now, their only option is to retreat. The alien commanders, their minds shattered by the relentless wave of absurdity, call for a full withdrawal. The invasion has failed, not because Earth's people fought back with force, but because they refused to take the battle seriously. The Coraxians, so focused on their mental domination, never stood a chance against a species that thrives on creativity, chaos, and humor. They leave, tails between their legs, vowing never to return to this strange and unpredictable world. As the Coraxians retreat, Earth erupts in celebration. What started as a desperate attempt to stall for time has turned into an overwhelming victory, and Clown, the unwitting hero of the hour, is carried through the streets by adoring fans. He grins, honks his horn, and throws confetti, still believing it was all just part of the act. To him, this was the performance of a lifetime. To the people of Earth, it was something much more, a reminder that sometimes, the greatest defense isn't brute strength or strategic planning, but the ability to find joy in the most unlikely of places. In the aftermath, the world reflects on what just happened. Clown, despite never having realized the gravity of the situation, has become a symbol of humanity's unique resilience. Earth was saved not by advanced technology or military might, but by the very things the Quaraxians couldn't understand: laughter, creativity, and the power of the absurd. The people of Earth, united by a shared sense of joy and humor, defeated one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy without ever firing a shot. And so, as the victory celebrations continue, Clown takes his final bow, tripping over a stray banana peel in the process. The crowd roars with laughter, and for a brief moment, the entire planet is reminded of one simple truth: sometimes, the most serious battles are won not with strength or cunning, but with a well-timed joke.